Greetings, friend. Timberlake here. This is a collaboration video between my channel, Smart Hobbies, and Harold Nolte. I will show you how to solve practice Sudoku puzzle from the 2022 Sudoku Grand Prix without using marks. Click on the link below if you want to try the puzzle yourself. And with that, it's solving time. Okay, you can notice probably right here in block 5 in the middle, there's only one missing candidate. So I'll mark that. That's a 1. And then we will look. I don't see anything else I can do with the ones. And like I said, I'm not going to make any extra marks. I'm going to do it the way Harold does and just solve my fill-in candidates as I see them. Okay, I see there's a 4 here and a 4 here and a 4 coming across row 6. So that's a 4. And then I'm looking 2 spots for 4 there. I'm not going to mark that. And there's a 4s here in row 7 and 8 in column 2. So that's a 4. Looking nice on the 4s. I'm scanning the 2s. I'm actually right now looking for kind of the candidates that are jumping out. So like a 3. You have the 3 here in column 7 and the 3 in row 5. There's only 1 spot for a 3 here in block 6. So I'll mark that. But then I look over here. There's still 2 spots for 3 there. So I'm not going to continue looking with the 3s. 9s. I have a 9 here and a 9 here. A 9 coming up column 1. So that's going to be a 9. Okay. So I want to say you're probably wondering what is, classic, what is the Grand Prix, right? I'll put a link below and you can learn more about the Sudoku Grand Prix. But basically, there's several countries in the world. They host tournaments, and the tournaments have different puzzles. Classic Sudoku is one of them, but they also have some variants. And so people compete in the different countries, and then based on getting them correctly and then the amount of time, the top finishers will meet together in person for a final tournament at the end of the year. This particular puzzle was submitted by the Czech Republic and Slovakia, because that was held back in February, as a practice puzzle. Like, hey, if you can do this type level puzzle, see how fast you can do it, that will let you know how well you're going to do at the Sudoku Grand Prix. Cool, huh? So I want to kind of give that. I found this on the CTC Discord server. I thought it was a really cool puzzle. I wanted to solve it for you here. So let's move on again with the solving. 8, 8, 8. Yeah, I don't see if I can solve any 8s just yet. So I see 2 spots for an 8 there. Oh, no. Here we go. Yep. I got an 8 here. 4, 5. Rows 1 or columns 1 and 2. So that is an 8. And now you can look over here. 8's here. And another 8 in column 8. So that makes an 8. And I think we're going to be able to finish out the 8s because there's only 1 8 left here in block 3 because of these 2 8s here and these 2 coming up. So we knocked out all the 8s. That's nice. So when you knock out numbers like that, then you want to kind of look and say, okay, what spots did it fill in that maybe I couldn't do anything with last time? I'm noticing here with the 6s, 6 in columns 3 and 2 means there's only 1 spot left for a 6 here in block 4. And so I see a 6, 6, 6, and 6, 6. 3 6s there. 2 spots for 6 there. And I can't solve. Oh, yes, I can. So look, columns 8 and 9 and row 2. So now that can be a 6, which will allow us to solve a 6 right there. Hopefully you're seeing that. As soon as this is all cross-hatching hidden singles. And you're probably going, well, Timberlake, this seems like a pretty easy puzzle because, hey, columns 5 and 6 and row 8, yeah, there's a 6 right there. And we've knocked out all the 6s. But trust me, this puzzle, it mostly be pretty easy, and people are doing it for time. They're trying to get in like 3 to 5 minutes. But I believe there's going to be a gotcha here. It's not as straightforward as you might think. All right, moving forward here, I'm looking at 4s. Can't do anything else with 4s. How about the 5s? Anything I can do with the 5s? Now I'm kind of focused on, where are there some restrictions in this puzzle, right? So let's look across row 1. I'm missing a 3, a 5, and a 7. I see a 7 right there, a 3 there, so we can't fill anything else there. So now I'm looking for like the hidden and naked pairs because I don't see any cross-hatching left to be done at this time. Oh, actually I do. 1 and 1 here, right? So that's a 1 right there. Nice. And now with this 1 across row 8 and column 5, that can be a 1. And remember, there's 2 spots for a 1 there. We got rid of one of those, so we can solve the other one for a 1. Now the 1s are done. We got the 1, 6s, and 8s all done. That is nice. I will take it. And now looking here at the 9s, columns 4 and 5, so that means that has to be a 9. And 9 come across row 8 and 2, so this is a 9. And hopefully you start seeing some of this cross hatching. You can see here rows 4 and 6 and 8, 9 is the fastest way. Hidden single, that's the fastest way you're going to pick up and solve cells. And I'll put a link below in the description for my all the different ways to solve a single cell in Sudoku. And you can notice, you want to pick up on the fastest methods first, and that's what these Grand Prix contestants are doing. But then when that doesn't work, then you have to go and look for like naked singles. So then I start like looking across row 5 here, and notice there's 2 missing cells, a 2 and a 5. So I see, is there a 2 or a 5 that's bleeding in any of these cells? And there's not. So then I have to move on to another cell and try to solve that way. That's kind of how it works. All right. Let's see here. 2, 5, 7. I see a 2 goes into that one. A 5 goes into that one. And this can be, so that can be a 2, 7. That could be a 5, 7. And this could be a 2, 5. So this is actually, I'll highlight it just to kind of, these 3 cells, again, not making the marks, but this is basically a naked triple, right? There's 3 cells remaining, and each are bi-value cells. Because there's a 5 here, that's a 2, 7. Because there's a 7 here, that's a 2, 5. And because there's a 2 here, that's a 5, 7. It's interesting. If we had, 2 bleeding in 2 of these, then we could be able to solve for the 2 and move on. But we don't, so we'll have to move on to another part of the puzzle. So let's look down here. I'm looking for, now I'm looking for blocks or houses, which is a block, row, or cell, or column, where cells, there's only 2 of them, or 3, so there's a lot of restrictions. So let's look across row 9. We're missing a 5 and a 7. I don't see 5, 7 there. I don't see a 5, 7 there. So now I can look here in block 8, and we're missing a 3, 5, and a 7. So there's a 3 coming here, and we know that's going to be 3, 5, 7. But what it's telling us is this 3, since it's limited to these 2 spots here in block 8, this is actually a pointing pair of 3s. So we know this spot right here cannot be a 3 anymore. The 3 is going to have to be in one of these 2 spots to fill out the rest of column 6. And in column 6, you can see there's not a 4 or a 3 here. So this is really, and I'll just highlight, I'm going to do the highlights just to kind of show you what I'm talking. So this is a naked pair of 3 and 4. So we know 3 and 4 are limited to these 2 spots. So these 3 spots we can now focus on and go, we're missing a 1. And I stand corrected. I did not get all the 1s. We're missing a 1. And with the 3, 4, we're also missing a 5 and a 7. So these 2 right here would be a 5 and a 7. Cool. All right. Yeah, even I sometimes miss my cross-checking. That's why I want to go back and look it over. This is a 3. And so now, since I got this 1, this is now a 5 and a 7 are limited to these 2 spots. Okay. 5 and a 7 are limited to these 2 spots. That's good to know. And this is 3, 5. Well, this is a... interesting. So now the 3 coming here, and 3 down here, is only one place left for a 3. I just see that. And so you got a 5, 7 here, and you got a 5, 7 in these 2 spots. Aha! Okay, so it's kind of revealing it for me here. Now you notice there's a 3 here in column 7 and 8, so now that has to be a 3. And we know there's 5, 7 come across. There's your 7 right there. Remember that? So there's a 5, and here's your 7. Great. And now let's look down. There's only 2 places left here in column 8, so obviously take advantage of that. We're missing a 2 and a 5 again. 2, 5. I feel like 2s and 5s and to a degree 7s are kind of the missing candidates that we need to be looking for here. All right, I can't solve any of those yet. Let's look over here. We're missing a 2 and a 3. 3, 3. So 3 could be there. 2, 3 could be there. We don't know yet what those are. That's okay. Let me look now. And now we're going to look and see, okay, can we... And we checked all of the cell, where there's like 2 remaining. And I feel like we've gotten most of those. 5, 7 here, we can't solve those. Right here, you're looking at a 2 and a 5. Can't solve those. But I'm starting to see something connecting here with the 5s. Yeah, so here, let me show you. I see a skyscraper. All right. I'm going to highlight and tell you what I'm talking about. Here's your base, and here is the tip. So think of a skyscraper going sideways, right? Okay, so what's a skyscraper? So the 5s, where are the 5s limited to in row 3? They're limited to this spot here. There's a 5 coming up, and then this spot. All right, 2 spots in row 3. And then where are the 5s limited to in row 9? Well, these 2 spots. They share the same base, column 5. And then these tips are different. So this is like the tips of the skyscraper. Well, what a skyscraper the logic means is that there's either a 5 here or there's a 5 here. At least one 5 in one of those 2 spots. And the reason being is you can have a 5 here, or if a 5's not there, this would have to be a 5. This couldn't be a 5, and so then you have to put a 5 in the last remaining spot here in row 9. So again, 5 is going to be there, or it's going to be there. It could possibly be in both if we had another cell to put a 5 in column 5, but we don't. So we know it's in one of those 2 spots. What that means is any cell that sees these 2 orange cells cannot contain a 5. So this spot right here cannot be a 5, right? Because it would break the puzzle. Because then you wouldn't be able to you wouldn't be able to put the 5s in those spots. So if that's not a 5, then your 5 has to be in this spot here in row 7, and then that's going to be your 2. So let's get rid of our highlighting. That is a skyscraper, and I'm not sure how much more progress we could have made without it. But I happen to see that there, and it's not easy to see without marking the cells. But I knew I had to switch my logic because I wasn't seeing any more hidden and naked singles, and I want to keep going down the path of figuring out what was in each of these blocks. But that skyscraper really jumped out at me, and I think this is going to help us get to the end of this puzzle. All right, so we got a 2 here. Now we can finish the rest of column 8. So that has to be a 5. I have that 5 right here, 5s in rows 1 and 3, so that has to be a 5. Now we can finish. And you remember there was 5s and 7s in this column and this column, so we know that has to be a 7. That's still your 3, 4, but we only have one remaining spot here. So you always want to go to the areas of the most restriction, right? If there's only one cell remaining in a block or a house, a row or a column, then go and fill those out because those are going to be the easiest ones for you to fill out. Okay, so we got 2 there. Great. Now, since the 2 is coming down here in column 7, there's only one spot left for 2 here in block 6. And there's only, again, we only have one spot remaining in row 5, so we can solve that for a 5. And we have a 5 and a 5, so we know this is a 5. That has to be your 7 because remember that we talked about that naked triple, 7, 7. This has to be your 7 because I just went right back to cross-hatching. And so, again, now I'm going to switch back to the cross-hatching. 7, 7, 7 cross row 3. This is a 7. Great. 7 and a 7. Only one spot left here in row 9, and we know that has to be a 7. This has to be a 5. 2 spots remain in here. Looking for a 2 and a 3. Actually can't solve that just yet. But if I look up here, see the 2 there, this has to be your 3. So in column 1, so there's your 2 and there's your 3. And then a 3 and a 3. I cross-hatch my way to find that 3, and then I can fill in the missing 2. Okay, and then with this 2, I immediately can go up here and fill in that 2. What's missing? If I'm looking for one missing cell, if I can see it in the block first, that's the easiest thing for your eyes to do because you can focus on one area. Otherwise, look across the row because you're used to reading across rows, then look down the column. But I see this 4 already immediately. There's 2 spots here. One of them has to be a 4. That's your 4. If you remember, that is your 3. Thank you, Harold, for letting me feature this video on your channel. I love that we collaborate together. I really enjoyed getting to know you. Check out my channel, Smart Hobbies. I do live solve videos like this, tutorials and analysis videos about Sudoku. I think you'll really enjoy that. And also have a Buy Me a Coffee page. I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.